Hello everyone, I'm Sanjana. Me along with my friends Manushri and Akhil are implementing the EleNa, elevation-based navigation, which is a web application that finds an optimal route between 2 points, taking not only distance but also elevation gain into consideration. EleNa would be used by runners, bikers, and hikers alike in order to find routes that range from an easy stroll to an intense workout. In our implementation, we focused on developing a complete system, including a user-friendly UI and an effective algorithm. Next, my friend Manushri is going to explain the design implementation.
So coming to a project design, we have two parts in a project, the front end and the back end. So we're building our user interface using HTML and JavaScript. Through this interface, we get inputs from the user like the source, the destination, the expected elevation gain type, like if they're looking for the maximum elevation gain or the minimum elevation gain, and the limiting total distance between the 2 points, which is expressed as X percentage of the shortest path. So once the user submits these details, a request is made to the backend. So the app server, which uses Python and Flask, receives this request. This invokes the map controller, which derives the latitude and longitude information, the map data, and the elevation data from the map database. This will be used by the actual routing algorithm for further optimization. So the route controller is then invoked with this derived information. Based on the user's choice, if they require the maximum elevation or the minimum elevation, a suitable optimization algorithm is used to return the best possible route. So here we'll either use Digicstraw or A star. So the checkpoints along with the path are also returned to the app server for further processing. So this best route metadata, which is got by the app server, is passed on to the front end, which renders the path or the route on the map. So this highlighted path can then be used by the user for their needs.
I'm now going to discuss the evaluation plan which we already have in mind. Keeping the code flow in mind, we have already thought of various scenarios for which we are going to create unit tests. As already mentioned in the slide given here, we are going to test if we are getting the shortest path accurately during A-star algorithm as well as the Dijkstra's algorithm. Then we are going to check for the nearest path between two nodes A and B. Then we are going to check the path length in the case of max elevation gain, and then the path length in the case of min elevation gain. So as we have already mentioned in the slides, these are the scenarios we have already thought of. And as we keep on developing our application, we are going to keep on adding more unit test cases that cover the entire flow of the application. We are going to use the Python's unit test framework for creating the test case. We also plan to do the functional testing after planning each stage of application, like UI backend flow, and then the overall integration flow of the application. We have defined our task clearly on who is going to work on which part of the application. On the high level, front-end implementation will be handled by Manasri, while the back-end implementation will be handled by Akhil and Sanjana. Also, test cases for each stage will be handled by the respective team members and at each stage of the application.